Let's take a look at number 6 from section 2.4. We're given a graph of a function, and we're asked to determine whether the graph is increasing or decreasing. Okay, and so the first thing that we'll do is to look as x gets bigger, what is happening to the y values? And we can see that they are getting smaller. And so this is a decreasing function. Okay, and is it concave up or concave down? Okay, now we're going to look kind of at the shape of the graph. Does it look more like a U-shaped graph? And that would be considered concave up, or an upside down U, which would be concave down. Since this graph looks more like a U-shaped graph, we're going to say that this is concave up. Lastly, we're asked to determine what the graph of the rate of change function would look like. Okay, so this is a little bit harder to tell. We want to look at what is happening. Think about analyzing the slope of a tangent line at many different places. And we see that at first, the slope of the tangent line to this curve would be pretty steep, and then not as steep. So as x gets bigger, the tangent lines, they're not as steep as they once were. The slopes of the tangent lines are also negative throughout the entire domain. So we can kind of get an idea of what the graph is going to look like, that it's going to first have some points on the curve that are more negative, and then it'll have some points that are still negative but closer to zero. And altogether, we can get a curve that kind of looks like this. And so I would try to pick out a curve from my choices that would best match this idea of what I think the rate of change function would look like. It may be hard, and so if you kind of eliminate some of the other graphs, it could help you narrow down which graph is correct. And so think about what is happening to the rates of change as x gets bigger. And you can also think about the concavity of the graph, because the concavity should match what the rate of change is doing. So if the graph is concave up, the rate of change is increasing. And so in this case, I know I'm looking for an increasing function.